27th of July 2011. Santos welcomed Flamengo in the 12th game of the Campeonato Brasileiro Serie A season. At a glance, this was just a league match, so nothing eye-catching or out of the ordinary. But upon closer inspection, we slowly begin to realize that this match was so much more. It was a match that I'm pretty sure very many people watching this video, including myself, did not tune into at the time. And upon going back to watch the whole thing, I'm ashamed to say that that is the case. The reason being that this match had absolutely everything. A battle between two heavyweights in Brazilian football, 9 goals including an under-the-wall free kick, a Puskas winner, and a slew of defensive mistakes. Drama in the form of a missed Panenka penalty and horrendous misses. And, of course, a battle between two of the biggest names you could think of. An aging Ronaldinho coming out of one of the most exhilarating European football careers, and a youthful, promising Neymar quickly becoming more and more famous with every passing second. Today, we're going to talk about it. The lead up, the game itself, and the aftermath. So, with that being said, why is this, some run-of-the-mill league match, a strong contender for the greatest match you never saw? Yo, what's going on guys? Hope you're all doing well. I'm Tinashe, welcome back to another video. To fully understand what made this match such a classic, we have to provide some context. But first, a quick word from Atlas VPN, the sponsor of today's video. If you use the internet, which at this point, I'm just gonna assume you do because, well, you know, you're gonna wanna listen in on this one. Atlas VPN is an easy-to-use application that can be installed on your smartphone, computer, or tablet that encrypts your network data and sends it through a secure VPN tunnel. The result is a much-needed layer of protection against anyone trying to collect your data. Probably my favorite part about using Atlas VPN is that it allows you to access region block content. And that's a pretty good thing for me, because at the risk of outing myself, I'm a pretty big anime fan. For example, the full catalog of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I highly recommend by the way, isn't available on Netflix in the country I'm in, but it is available in the US. One click to connect to one of Atlas VPN's US servers, and boom. But that's not all. Atlas VPN is also an ad and malware blocker, operates at lightning speeds, and can be placed on an unlimited number of devices. And by clicking on the link in the description below, you can get a massive discount on their 3-year deal for only $1.99 per month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So go ahead, click the link in the description below and make sure you're staying safe online. Thanks so much to Atlas VPN for making this video possible. Let's get right back to the game. So let's start off with the teams, move on to the superstars, and talk about the state that everyone was in. At this point in 2011, Santos were flying quite high, as they had very recently been crowned as the best team in all of South America. And when I say recently, I really mean it. The final of the 2011 Copa Libertadores was played only 1 month prior to the match at the center of today's video. Their first Libertadores victory since 1963 in the days of Pele. So this was a pretty big deal. Although things weren't looking too great in the league. Having played 11 games thus far in the season, Santos sat in 13th place. They had also failed to win the competition since 2004 when the likes of a young Robinho and Elano were working their magic. Regardless of their league position at the time, Santos were certainly not hopeless, as evidenced by their Libertadores win. A very talented crop of players who had and are still having very successful careers in Europe were strewn across the team. Danilo, Alexandro, an older but still dangerous Elano, Ganzo, and the golden boy himself, Neymar. It was obvious to absolutely everybody that was even half paying attention that Neymar would soon be the next big thing. At only 19, he was just too good to be ignored. Still on the skinny side, strength wasn't his biggest, well, strength, but his balance, eye for space, and ball-playing abilities more than made up for that. And a Player of the Tournament award for that year's competition also helped his reputation somewhat, I can only imagine. Still, he had yet to be tested on the international stage, so this was a very raw version of the man. Nonetheless, Santos were very much relying on him to pull through for them and help improve their league form. This was much easier said than done, because at the end of the day, you have to play what's in front of you. Speaking of which. On the other hand, we have Flamengo, the most popular team in all of Brazil according to Statista, and by some distance too. Flamengo's league trophy drought at this point wasn't as long-lived as that of Santos. 2 seasons prior, they had lifted the coveted trophy in 2009, but a 14th place finish in 2010 meant that they had to go back to the drawing board. And among several changes that were made to the lineup, the loudest of those changes was the bringing in of a legend. But not just any legend, Ronaldinho. To say that this man is immortalized in football history, despite being a grandiose and potentially excessive statement, doesn't do him justice. He dazzled throughout his career, skipping past players and scoring goals as if he were the only person on the pitch at the height of his career. The World Cup, the Copa America, the Champions League, the league in Italy and Spain, the Ballon d'Or, the FIFA World Player of the Year, you name it, he won it. And he did it all with the most infectious smile on his face. Simply put, he made a lot of little boys and little girls love this game. And I know this for a fact because I was one of them. Having said all of that, his career was on its last legs by this point. Only 31, not very old in the slightest, but years of partying, drinking and living it up had quickly caught up with him. Showing up to training drunk at Barcelona, being sold and doing the same at AC Milan. To my knowledge, his official contract at Flamengo was never leaked, so I can't confirm whether this is true or not. But he apparently had a nightclub clause in his contract upon his return to Brazil. According to the clause, he proposed to his new club that he would be permitted to go clubbing at least twice per week. The clause was accepted. Allegedly. All of this was public knowledge, but none of it seemed to matter to a lot of people, especially Flamengo fans, something evidenced by the fact that an estimated 20,000 fans arrived at his unveiling for the club. Despite the negativity, there was an excitement in the air that something special was on. Flamengo was sat in 3rd place after 11 matches played. An improvement of the previous campaign, sure, but they needed something extra. And as they say, every match counts. Here are the lineups for the two sides heading into the match. Both sides were strong and the hype reflected that. There were 22 men on the field. However, you and I both know the storyline that was dominating the headlines at the time. Ronaldinho versus Neymar. Neymar versus Ronaldinho. The wording probably wasn't so significant, but it was something along those lines, you know. Neymar, the golden boy with probably the most promising future of any Brazilian player in several years, and Ronaldinho, a man 12 years his senior, a living legend, flawed like the vast majority of people, and needing to show that he was not done just yet. The stage was set. At 9:50 p.m., the game was underway. So I'm going to do something a little bit different here, if you guys will humor me. It's going to be a play-by-play. Might be an L, might not, we'll see. 4 minutes in, and the goal fest had begun. Assisted by Elano, Borges fires in a cool side-footed finish. Advantage Santos. 11 minutes later, with Neymar through on goal, a chip attempt was just saved by Felipe. But with the ball still up for grabs, Neymar managed to pull off an overhead kick that found the feet of Borges for his 2nd of the night. So I'm well aware that the overarching sentiment of this video is that not enough people were paying attention to this match when it was actually going on. Heck, I'm pretty sure there are a few people watching this video that never even knew that it took place in the first place, which makes sense. I mean, not everyone was watching football 11 years ago. But this next goal, everyone watching this video knows about this next goal. You could make a very strong argument that this is the goal that made Neymar a household name around the globe. These days, that's a really hard thing to do if you don't play in Europe, which of course he hadn't done yet. He picks up the ball way deep infield. His quick feet take 2 players out the game in an instant. A quick 1-2 with Borges takes another 2 players out. And then the cherry on the cake. A sleek piece of skill to shift the ball from his right to his left, go around the 5th man and tuck it into the bottom left corner with the outside of his foot. One word, Puskas. 3-0 up with 25 minutes played. Looking at that scoreline, it looked like it was about to be a long day for Flamengo. Santos was simply looking too strong. However, while I've spoken at length about Santos' free-scoring gameplay, there is another side to this coin. This game was not one-sided. Ronaldinho had missed at least 2 chances. Rafael, Santos' keeper, was forced into multiple saves. And, of course, David, Flamengo's top scorer in the league that year, missed an open goal from like half a yard out. If you had a keen eye, what happened next probably wasn't all that surprising. A tap-in from Ronaldinho following some butterfingers from the Santos #1, and a headed goal by Thiago Neves made it a 1-goal match 32 minutes in. The bottle drop was on. With Santos in shock and trying to maintain composure, and Flamengo pressing, the game was a bit cagey for a while, until Neymar decided to take matters into his own hands. A burst of pace into the box, a foul, a penalty. This was a golden chance to get a grip of the game once more right before halftime. Elano steps up, Panenka failed Panenka. There is very little that is more embarrassing than a failed Panenka. But when the goalkeeper does keepy-ups after saving it, that's a violation. This man is a menace to society. So, anyone want to guess what happened next? That's right, Flamengo equalize, a header by David, as if no one saw this coming. Halftime. The changing rooms at this point must have been complete polar opposites of one another. Flamengo on a high, Santos demoralized. Neymar was not one to give up. 6 minutes into the second half, and another moment of magic from him restored his team's advantage. A cool effort curled around the oncoming keeper. So Santos may have had the advantage. However, from this point onwards, the match may as well have been renamed the Ronaldinho show. 70 minutes in, a free kick is won at the edge of the Santos box. It was won by the man himself, but even if that weren't the case, we already know who was going to take it and that there would only be one outcome. But what we didn't know is where he was going to put it. If you guessed under the wall, you'd be correct. 4-4. Now, Neymar was still balling, and it was as if he was trying to take on the entire Flamengo side one man. The man clearly hates losing, but sadly, his day was done, and Ronaldinho applied the final nail in the coffin 10 minutes from time. 5-4 was the final score between the teams in favor of Flamengo. Similarly, 3-2 was the final score between the master and the apprentice in favor of Ronaldinho. Look, ultimately, this game ended up meaning very little in the grand scheme of things. Flamengo finished the season off in 4th place, with Santos finishing in 10th. But looking back, this match was of major significance. A reminder that Ronaldinho was, in fact, still a powerful force when he chooses to be. A glimpse into the insane talent held within a young man that was already pretty well known, but was about to be on everyone's radar. And above all else, for a lot of people that weren't watching football 11 years ago, and even a few that were, it was, perhaps, the greatest match you never saw. And there we have it. This one was a little bit different, but it was really fun to make. Leave a like if you like, and also let me know what you guys think about this format. Might turn it into a bit of a series where we look at classic forgotten matches, but that's only if you guys are rocking with it, of course. Feel free to follow me on the Twitters and the Instagrams, but only if you want to. Anyway, that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're all staying safe. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.